Okay, so thanks so much for joining. Today's it's only a 45-minute session, and it's around the Level 4 Project Data Analyst Apprenticeship, which we currently have delivered and implemented internally to HEE, hence why I'm using HE corporate slides today. But is someone able to admit people in for me?
Yeah, I'll do that, Mike. No problem.
Ah, lovely, thanks.
Hi.
So yeah, we've got 45 minutes. I mean, for those, if we do run over for some reason, because we are starting a couple of minutes later, then we can always run over. But I'll do a short introduction. I'll hand over to Warwick and Yoshi, who are from Projecting Success, and here to talk about the Level 4 Project Data Analyst Apprenticeship. I'm going to share some slides. We've got a short recording to share with you along with that too. We'll take some questions. If anyone got any questions, we've only got 5 minutes for that. So any questions that we haven't got round to answering, we'll pick those up and share with them, share those back with you. We've got a couple of learners, so Manju and Yemi from HEE. We're going to talk to you about their experience as a learner on this apprenticeship, so you get a chance to ask a question. I've got a couple I've lined up, but feel free to put something in the chat about that. We'll close about 1:45, so you can get some lunch. So what are you going to learn from the session? So I'm going to give you a little bit of a background as to how this apprenticeship came about. You're going to learn about Projecting Success and their apprenticeship offer. You're going to hear from Yemi and Manju as well about their enrollments and how they're finding things. I'm going to link you to other people that can give you some advice and support. So I'll be sharing HE's relationship managers details with you. So you'll have one for each of your region, wherever you're based in the country. You can have a conversation with them too. And I'll also be sharing after today some free access to project management related learning and development, which has been developed through NHS Project Futures that I'm part of. So you can access those as well. Yeah, do put something in the chat if you feel the need to do that. Connect with others, whether you're coming into this with a fresh pair of eyes, you're perhaps interested, you've heard about this apprenticeship, take this opportunity to connect. Do pop your questions and get involved, and do share some challenges or obstacles that perhaps might be surrounding the enrolment onto this apprenticeship, because I'd like to really understand how we can work through those together. I'll be sharing the slides with you and sharing my contact information so you can get in touch with me. As I said, we'll pick up any questions afterwards. And anyone that wants any, this is really important, anyone wants any individual, group or organizational follow-up sessions with me, Yoshi and Warwick from Projecting Success, let us know, because we'd really like to do that. Make this process as easy to follow as possible, and so you're making the most of the procurement that we carried out through NHS Project Futures. So yeah, just a kind of very brief introduction really. These apprenticeships were launched in February by Navina, who's our CEO at HE, and she was in her first 100 days in the organisation, but she's really supportive of long-term learning and that kind of growth mindset that comes with a organisational learning culture. So this apprenticeship standard is really important to anyone, and that includes me, around building data capability and data confidence and data literacy. We know data comes in many different forms. It's often messy. There's loads of data around in the NHS, and it's often we haven't necessarily got the skills available to make sense of that data and make some informed decisions with the data. And we know data's coming, it's not slowing down. In fact, there's going to be more of it. And so how do we use that data to make informed evidence-based decision making across our system? And this apprenticeship's really important to building that capability and that understanding and also kickstarts that lifelong learning mentality that's really important to us, because we know investment in learning is becoming squeezed. It's often the first thing that gets shelved, but every organisation of a certain size pays into their levy pot, and we know most organisations aren't making the most of that money, so it's just going out. So why not use it? And I personally have seen a real shift in the way people are viewing learning now. You know, those 2-day courses, I think people are thinking, well, actually, I want something more. And an apprenticeship can really be that sustainable learning pathway for people and future-proofing our profession. So you're going to hear a little bit more about the standard itself, but as someone like myself working in project management, I know data's extremely important, and I know we perhaps don't make the most of it in project management. So this will give you those skills, give you that knowledge and that confidence to be able to make the most of it. So there's loads of benefits. This is a kind of organizational view, I guess, because, you know, but there are individual benefits of going on an apprenticeship. These are just some of the sort of main highlights from that. Part of what we want to do through apprenticeships is increase the diversity in the profession. We know from the work we've done through our workforce data that the higher the grade, the more white and male it becomes, and apprenticeships are a real entry route for people from underrepresented groups. So that's just one area we really want to sort of promote. And I will be getting involved in National Apprenticeship Week, which runs from the 7th to the 13th of February next year. So if you want to get involved in that too, or know more about it, let me know, because I'm happy to have support and input from others across the system. So I was involved quite recently, and you'll hear from Manju and Yemi shortly about the Project Hack, which some of you, if you get our NHS Project Futures newsletter, there was a feature in there from Jo. She was there for the 2 days. I was only there for the 1, but it was absolutely tremendous. And we used a real case study from NHS Project Futures around workforce data for one of the challenges. In the hack, there's a series of presentations, and I've actually included the link in this presentation. So when I send that out, have a look, because it's absolutely amazing what these people can do within the 2 days. And it's actually applying the learning that they've developed. And for Manju and Yemi, they were only kind of 2 months in, and they were on their first hack, and it was like, wow, this is amazing. And for others, it was their kind of 3rd or 4th hack. So they were kind of further on in that. But it was a real opportunity to do that collaborative working, networking, and actually applying the learning that they've done to that point. So a real unique way of developing capability is through hacks. And we've got a short video to share with you. If you haven't seen that feature, the article that Jo wrote, do let me know, and I can send a copy to you, because it's absolutely brilliant. There are ways you can connect with us, and these are just some of them. We have a Twitter page, we have a community of practice, we have a YouTube channel, we have LinkedIn, and that's our NHS Project Futures inbox, where you can reach me. There's lots of different ways to connect and find out more about this apprenticeship standard and other standards that we've launched. So do feel free to get in touch and feel like you're part of something. So I'm now going to hand over to Yoshi and Warwick, who are going to talk a little bit more about projecting success and their role in this.
Excellent.
Did you want me to share my slides, or are you going to do that?
I'll actually try to share mine, if that's all right, Mike.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, no problem.
We'll start off at the same point anyway, so there's no problem.
Yeah.
Well, let me know if you can. I'll just turn the audio on as well. I'll share my screen. We've got a bit of a short video to show you as well, to showcase a bit more about Project Hack as well, so you can see it firsthand. So no one's really seen this yet, so we'll show it to you. So morning, guys, or afternoon, should I say. Thank you for joining our session. Hopefully we can give you a bit more insight into the apprenticeship. Mike, can you see our screen there?
Yes, I can. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
So what I'll do, guys, is run through a bit more about Projecting Success, who we are in regards to the apprenticeship delivery, and we'll cover a bit more about the syllabus, and then we'll move on to the hackathon, which Mike kind of touched on there, because that's a big part of what we do. So who are Projecting Success? So we're one of the apprenticeship providers on the Salisbury framework. We're a data analytics provider who specialise in project delivery. So just a bit of context. Despite a rise in data adoption over the last few years, rich streams of data has been created without direction into how to convert this into valuable insight, right? So this is where we can pull data analytics to help us understand our projects a lot more and optimize how we deliver them. So more often, this is due to a lack of capability to execute data strategy. So at our company, we recognize a shortage of data capability within project workforces, and so we developed the Data Analyst Level 4 apprenticeship. So we're on a mission to transform how projects are delivered by building a data-savvy workforce, by optimizing data capability, so we can augment decision-making and deliver projects successfully, collaboratively. So what the program teaches, so in a nutshell, this is what you'll learn through the apprenticeship and off the back of it. So you look at implementation, you'll learn a lot more about problem solving, data analytics, from data collection all the way through to analyzing reporting data. And we'll look at data engineering, looking at different sort of databases, non-relational and relational databases. We'll look at data science, looking at machine learning and AI, and then we'll also look at business intelligence, so storytelling to a senior audience, engaging with stakeholders, building the business case, etc., etc. And we have project management and business analysis interweaved throughout the program. So that's what's quite different from our teaching, is that we do use project data, so it's much more relevant. And we'll look at methodology that underpins that. Throughout all of the apprenticeship, we'll be looking at use cases and understanding user stories throughout your organisation. So what you work on through the apprenticeship, you can deploy within your organisation to tackle pain points quite specifically. In terms of some of the tools we use, we typically work with the Microsoft stack. So we look at Power Platform and Power BI. We look at SharePoint. We look at Excel, SQL, Python coding, Neo4j. And also Azure. So there are other tools we also use, but this is the main bulk of the teaching that you'll cover throughout the apprenticeship. So how do you fit into all of this? So I understand that a lot of people who come into the apprenticeship might not have an extensive background within data, and they might have many years in project delivery, depending on kind of what level they are in terms of their career. But the apprenticeship program it exists to kind of work around where you want to go, in addition to where your employers want you to go and what sort of benefits they want to derive from the apprenticeship. So we kind of map it on this spectrum. Okay, so you have people who might want to be translators. So this is someone who predominantly wants to kind of just dabble in data analytics and kind of apply it within their working role, but don't want to go too deep of information. They want to understand the context, the theory, but not go too deep into the coding, for example. So that's a translator role. So we kind of see it as a hybrid data analyst. And we also have generalist practitioners. So this is someone who might want to have a broad grasp of advanced analytics and apply this at an immediate level solution. And they might have some of you who might also want to go a bit more deeper into coding, for example, or Python or machine learning or even automation. And this is a specialist who will have a broad understanding but have a niche within the curriculum. So we map it over this kind of spectrum of learning. So if you are someone who's a bit worried about the kind of the advanced part of the course, don't worry about it, because we can tailor it to what you want to learn. In terms of our delivery of the apprenticeship, we do have various different modules, different components, and I'll talk you through some of these now. So we have intensive weeks at the start of the course. So this is 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and you'll have 2 of these weeks. So you have 1 week, you have 2 1 weeks effectively. This would be in the 2nd and the 6th month of when you start the program, and this is where we cover the course. Effectively, we cover every component of the course here, because what we do is like to teach you the whole bulk of it and then consolidate your knowledge as you go throughout the apprenticeship. It's much easier, and it allows you to understand what it is you want to kind of build further. We also have use case driven meetup talks. So we have diverse sessions with world-class speakers from around the world, and they'll come and do talks from Microsoft, AWS, different kind of clients. We'll look at NHS as well, panel sessions across government, and we have a variety of talks who will kind of showcase how PEA is within their organizations. We'll have the hackathons, which we'll touch a bit more about in a second, so I won't go into too much detail, but this is an opportunity for you to work in a team to develop solutions for real challenges across the industry. And we'll have case study workshops. So this is where we can work with you and your employer to identify pain points in your organization. And then what you learn throughout the course, we can apply straight away. So you've not got to wait 12 months to deploy what you've learned through the apprenticeship onto your working routine. So we do understand that a lot of you are working quite busy. So we do like to integrate it quite effectively. And then we'll also have guidance from tutors, and I'll touch a bit more about that in a second. In terms of our delivery, it is hybrid. We do have a proven virtual delivery format, so we can deliver our classroom-based learning and even our hackathons completely online, including intensive weeks. But now that we're kind of coming to the end of COVID, hopefully, we do have face-to-face sessions as well that is held within London. For example, our last hackathon was in London, for example. But at the same time, we can deliver hybrid working environments, and Warwick will show you a bit more about that as we cover the hackathons. Our course schedule, it is now only a 12-month training program and then a 3-month window for the endpoint assessment. So the 3-month window is effectively a period where you can take your exams, but it isn't 3 months of working. It is only 12 months of training, and we filter that through with different components across the 12 months. So you have the intensive weeks, the pre-meetups, the hackathons are every, I think, 2 or 3 months, and the meetups and the endpoint assessment. The hackathons are 2-day events. But typically, we do ask you to have time off in lieu to compensate for the hack days. So what makes this different? So at Projecting Success, we center our philosophy around collaboration and community. So although we have a consultancy, which is Projecting Success, we also have a community of 7,500 people, and these are professionals within data and within projects. So should you join the apprenticeship, you have access to all of these people, and you'll start to see the benefits of this throughout the hackathon video in a second. We do encourage coding in the open, which is a big philosophy of the NHS as well. So we look to democratize solutions, democratize data where possible, and offer that transparency. So together, if we work collaboratively, we can steer the ship collegiately. So we've got hackathons now, which is a big part of our delivery, our provision, and I'll pass over to Warwick to talk to you in a bit more detail about our hackathons.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Warwick. I'm in charge of coordinating the technical side of our hackathons. So what is the hackathon? It's a 2-day event where teams tackle challenges brought to us by various different companies and sponsors. So the challenges that are brought forward are real world problems that are things that actually need solving essentially right now. So they're challenges that companies have discovered within themselves or issues or gaps within their current work, and they bring it here as an opportunity to see what different people could come up with, see if we can tackle and solve those challenges, and essentially get, you know, teams of 5 or 6 to work on it all day for 2 full days. The challenges are, as I said, they're real problems. Many companies are looking to take those solutions and implement them straight away. There's a huge focus on creating these innovative technologies, and for so many companies that come forward with a challenge, it's an opportunity to see things they wouldn't be able to do themselves or haven't quite imagined yet, as the participants will be from so many different areas, be it our apprentices or members of the public or industry professionals or students. And the focus here is to create solutions for these challenges which can be taken away and implemented and change the workforce as it is. So I think it might be best to show the video next. So
Yep.
We have a bit of a video on the experiences from the last hackathon, which was in person.
Can you hear that?
Project Hack is an opportunity to bring a load of people together from project professionals and data scientists and data analysts, and we bring them together to solve some real problems that's facing the industry at the moment. So we've got about 150 people here at the moment. They're working over 2 days. We've got a load of people online as well, about 40 people online. So we're solving problems collegiately, all for the benefit of the industry and the profession.
There's a real great variety of challenges this year. The variety of organisations that put forward data and some really complex and challenging challenges across a variety of different sectors, with both construction and non-construction related. It's really been quite inspiring to see what other project professionals are struggling with and how they can use data to help unlock their problems.
It's been a fantastic event. It's been an interesting dynamic, the difference between day 1 and day 2. It was new to me, so being able to experience it for the first time, it's a really exciting, energetic event. There's a lot of concentration today, a lot of focus. People are very intense, but also, you know, you can see that they're refining on ideas that they've been, you know, exploring in the first day, and seeing that evolution is fascinating.
What I've enjoyed the most about the event so far is networking, meeting new people, and really challenging myself by entering an unexpected challenge. I would definitely encourage students to attend. I think it's a good learning experience, and you gain a lot of skills and knowledge. Also meet and network and gain more confidence.
In terms of skills as well, it's great to have some data capabilities in your team. So you want data analysts, data scientists, you might want some data engineering, Azure skills, those sort of things. And we do tend to get those. And if you've not got those in your team, we've got tech support on hand through the Projected Success team, and we can help you with that. And I think for some of the younger people as well, right, it's not just about coming along with loads of tech skills, it's bringing your energy and enthusiasm, getting involved in writing the pitches, and it's getting involved in breaking the problem down with a fresh lens. And we really need that, we really need these fresh ideas. So I'd say in terms of the composition of the team, it needs a bit of all of that really. It's a team full of project managers or project professionals won't work, or a team full of data scientists won't work. It needs to be a blend. That's the great thing about Project Hack. We always get that blend.
Cool. I'll move on to the next slide. Cool.
So yeah, that was some images from Project Hack 11. I'm sure you might recognize some of your own staff there. So yeah, it was our first in-person event since COVID, and it's built a lot of momentum and gotten a lot of people more involved in sort of the project data analytics community, and has really begun to sort of fast track that innovation mindset that Mike was speaking of earlier about the future of training. We had over 170 attendance this time from various sectors and professions, and we had students as well. The NHS did bring a challenge this time, for those that aren't aware, and managed to get 5 teams tackling it, which is never happened before. It was the most we'd ever seen for a single challenge. We were able to successfully create a hybrid working environment. So we had people in person, as you can clearly see, but we also had people online who were signing in virtually and watching along with a streamed camera, and our tech support team was also on and off computers helping them as well. It's a great opportunity for those who are new on the apprenticeship as well. So the first hack you have sort of in your schedule on the apprenticeship is only 2 months in, and by that point you'll have done your first intensive week, but you won't have quite hit your second yet. And even the apprentices that come in after that first 2 months can find themselves very easily getting involved and sort of getting to know and teaming up with other people in various sectors, or maybe later on in the apprenticeship. And I've yet to meet anyone who doesn't think the Project Hack wasn't a massive learning experience, and it's a chance to tackle actual problems that you would actually have to deal with in a collaborative environment. So those collaboration skills, it's really where those are built on. There's a £5,000 prize pool that's divided between 4 teams, and the winning team this time was actually tackling the NHS's challenge. So it was a really good event.
Excellent, thanks, Warwick. And in terms of companies on the apprenticeship program, guys, so we do work with a whole host of companies more pertinent towards healthcare. We have GSK. We also work with those across government like Highways England, DSTL, and Environment Agency. We work with a range of companies from large organisations through to SMEs as well. So in terms of our accolades, we were Computing's AI Machine Learning Team of the Year 2021, and we're finalists for the APM Mike Nichols Award, Microsoft Gold Partner. Our CEO was one of Data IQ's 100 most influential people in data, and we've been nominated for Best Data Analytics Provider for the Data Management Insight Award as well. In regards to our Ofsted, we had an Ofsted visit this year, and we were scored in the top 7% of all new apprenticeship providers. You can scan the QR code there for a full report, or just quickly Google our name and you'll find us in our Ofsted, but that went really well. Just want to quickly cover apprenticeship support as well. So throughout the apprenticeship program, for those of you who might be concerned about kind of not having a big extensive background in data, we do have various various one-to-ones. We have drop-in sessions. We also have kind of a unique spin, which is a solution center where we democratize solutions, a bit like an app store, which is currently an MVP product at the moment. We do have a lot of work with apprenticeship progress. So we'll have learner progress reviews every 2 months. We'll have gateway reviews. We have an e-portfolio system for simple access for employees and learners. And we have quality assurance of all work through hackathons, through judges. And we also have feedback on apprentice solutions from the community. So we are dedicated to ensuring apprentices are supported during and beyond the apprenticeship. And like I mentioned, with our community, you will have that access to a network of 7,500 people, which is kind of a unique part of our work. In terms of our team, I know I'm running out of time. I'll just quickly cover that. In terms of the management team, we have Martin Paver, who's the centre manager. Martin's also a tutor on the program who covers the project aspect quite well. He's got a lot of experience within projects. He's an MBA in project management. He's got a chart. He's a chartered engineer. We've got Dr. James Smith, who is the lead tutor. Some of you might have already met. He's a full stack developer, PhD in applied maths. He's currently the CTO. Me and myself, Yoshi. So I'm the NHS account manager. I also head up the marketing, BD and PMO at the company. And I'm also an honorary member of the NHS project and change profession. And I used to work within the NHS as well. We've also got Vicky Emerson, who's got a wealth of experience in L&D, safeguarding to support with all your apprenticeship needs as well. In regards to our tutor team, we've got a wide range of experience with master's and PhD level qualifications. But we supplement that also with guest speakers from Microsoft. So you have Microsoft MVPs. We're also in discussion with IBM, AWS to get all these industry case studies through. But all of our tutors have experience with mathematics, with stats, with education, certifications, etc., etc. So there's a lot there to cover to ensure that you guys are taught the best way. So I think that's our slides. And I think we just covered, 16 minutes there, Mike. So
that was a gallop. And it was really well done. Thanks, Yoshi. Warwick, that was fantastic. And hopefully it's given those listening a bit of a flavour for what to expect. I can't overemphasise just how good that hack was. I was only there for the day. I travelled from Leeds. Hadn't been to London for, crikey, almost 2 years. So that in itself was a strange experience. But it really was that good. And I'd recommend anyone that's thinking of this and is considering the apprenticeship to maybe register for it and just get a taste for it, even if it's for half a day. So thanks very much for that. Any questions to come from that? You're welcome to raise your hand and put something in the chat. We do have Manju and Yemi with us, and we're going to invite them to. You can leave your cameras off if you would prefer, but just kind of have a conversation really, because you've heard from me. I was someone that kind of went through this process to procure projecting success. You've heard from Yoshi and Warwick, and they've talked a good game and described it to you. I think it's also important that we hear from those that are on it. And Manju works in our team at HE in the National Portfolio Office. So I'd like to think Manju and I are friends, but and Yemi and I chat through NHS Project Futures, and Yemi also feeds into the ED&I in Project and Change Management work stream, and is looking at data as well through that. And again, is a friend of mine. But both of you are on the apprenticeship. Do you want to introduce yourselves? I know I've done a bit there, but tell the folks a little bit about yourself and why did you go on this apprenticeship? What was it that made you sign up?
Why did I go? I'll go first.
Yeah, sorry. Go on, Yemi. Yeah.
I really like data, and it's sort of like a new territory for me. And I just thought it was at level 4. It's a good place for me to start. And I do sort of deal with a bit of data, even though it's a level 4. It's actually a bit more advanced than I would have thought. You sort of you get thrown right into the deep end. If you're a complete beginner, like I would say I'm a big beginner. So it was the intensive week are very intense, but then you get the support as well. Yeah.
What was it? Did you decide anything? Was there other apprenticeships or other forms of learning that you considered, Yemi?
Yeah, I did actually. I was going to just do, I think, one of those short courses, like 5 days, and just get the data, get the tick box. But I think what you get with this one, you actually get the support, and you get the drop-in sessions as well, which are really good. So you drop in and somebody else will come with a challenge or with their query, and you can just listen in. I've joined a couple of those, and I didn't have any challenge or any query. I just joined in, and I actually learned a couple from those. I was just going to do one of those 2 days, 5-day courses, and and then just do online courses. But I wanted to actually be, it was the hackathon and the community as well, and being with peers. So that's a really plus.
How far into it are you now, Yemi?
I started in July. Did we? Yeah, I think about July. So I think about 3 months now. Or what am I?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can't count now. About 3-4 months.
You've got a busy life at home and a busy job at HE, haven't you?
Tell me about it. I have.
You have.
I think I'm one of those. I'm joining the sessions with screaming kids in the background, but it's really worth it.
How have you found balancing that commitment, and how supportive have you felt through that from your line manager and those around you?
So my line manager, she is supportive as best as she's not really involved in sort of pacing myself through my I couldn't do the first intensive week due to personal circumstances, but I was really pressured to wanting to do it despite not being, I knew I wouldn't be 100%, but the support I got from, on the first day was amazing. I wasn't pressured to join the week, so I'm able to catch up at my own pace and still feel like I'm part of the apprenticeship and the cohort. So I'm not missing out on anything. The sessions are recorded as well, so you can always go back.
Listen back.
And listen back, yeah. What was your question again?
Oh no, I asked probably said that's my problem. I always ask more than one question. It always confuses people. So now I'm just interested to understand how you've managed to balance a busy home life, work life, and the commitments.
So we have a study session as well, actually, just because we love what we're doing. So every now and again, I think twice a month, we catch up on Teams and just go through assignments and stuff. And this is outside of the program. But if it's an area you enjoy and it's something you want to develop in, I don't think you will struggle to take time out of your own personal time to actually develop yourself more, because it's interesting. There's a lot to learn and there's a lot to cover. So
absolutely.
That's how I balance. So if I have a few 30 minutes a week or so, I'll just go on YouTube and find out, just learn something.
Nice. Okay. Thanks, Yemi. Manju, you start higher. Introduce yourself. Say hello.
Hi, my name's Manju. I am on the same cohort as Yemi, so I also started in July as well.
Has that helped, having a colleague?
I do think so, yeah. Like Yemi said, it's quite nice that you're kind of going through things together as such, and you're all kind of from the same organisation. I think it has helped. You've kind of got that camaraderie where you can kind of share ideas and things. So it's been good.
Because even though you're from the same organisation, your jobs are very different, aren't they?
Yeah, very different. Yeah. But like, again, what Yemi said, what you learn on the apprenticeship in terms of the knowledge, and it's a broad area of data. And in some respects, kind of, you can find it quite applicable to your role, because it's such a broad sort of spectrum that they cover, whether it's just that you might just be using Excel, or whether that you're using other things that are more advanced. Everything in a way can be applicable to what you're doing at work, because it makes the processes a lot smoother, and just in your knowledge, it actually helps you just understand data a lot better.
Did you have to make some changes to your role to get closer to data?
Not so much changes to get closer to data. It was more of looking what I'm currently doing in my role, and then seeing how sort of that can marry with what I'm doing on the course, rather than the other way around, as in changing what I do. It was looking at, okay, so what am I learning, and how can I use already what I'm doing to kind of, kind of apply it as such. So that was good. And in terms of kind of any changes, I guess sort of our team and and my manager as well has been very supportive, and looking at actually if there is anything that we can change, it's potentially nothing too drastic, but maybe extending or kind of expanding a little bit more about what I am already doing and how I
Yeah.
can make it better rather than changing everything to make it completely different, or how I can find ways to get closer to data. It actually was quite helpful that you didn't have to do too much.
No, that's good. I think there's some preparation perhaps people would want to think about.
Mhm.
And I know Yoshi and Warwick and the team are there to support anyone that's kind of not sure at the moment if it's for them, just to make some sort of assessment on the environment you work in, the support level of support that you've got, and how best to make use of all of that.
Happy to have a conversation with anyone who's
Yeah.
I think the main point that we usually get is people want to understand that when they go on the apprenticeship, they're also making use of their time so they can apply it to their role, because it's a 12-month program, right? And people who invest in short courses because they can take the short intensive course they do and they can apply it straight away. So we do work with your organization and your employees to ensure what you're learning can be applied straight away. So it's kind of this idea of rapid innovation through the hackathons are one example of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Yoshi.
I think it sort of comes down to the base point that to us what we're teaching we believe matters a lot and makes a big difference. So it's almost pointless if we're not making sure you can take advantage of those skills and make use of them and start implementing them straight away, because if it's not helping, we're wasting our time.
Yeah, it's a good point, that, Warwick. Thank you. And Manju, what was your experience like at the hack? What did you think?
It was brilliant. Yeah,
I
thought it was great. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Again, similar to what you've said already, that it is a very kind of fast-paced, but very fun. You get to meet other people that are at different stages of the course. So obviously, I'd only been there just a few months, and everything was very new. I felt like I wasn't able to contribute very much, but in the end, you do find that you can, and also you learn so much. You're around, a table of other people who have various different experiences from different organisations, at different stages of the course. They have different roles, so it's really interesting to see what they bring and what they've learned and how they've adapted, sort of in the course, and what they've done and how they've changed their perspective on things. So it was really good, very, very, yes, so helpful. And I think I preferred to actually kind of meet everybody face to face as well, because I guess we started virtually, so it was slightly different. It was nice to see everyone face to face and kind of sit around a table and kind of share ideas. I really felt it kind of brought things together, and in fact as well, I felt it kind of maybe pushed me more in a way, because I was kind of more interested and more excited. So yeah, I think it was really good.
And what about you, Yemi? What have you got anything to add to that from your experience?
Yeah, I think similar to what you said, Manju, it's just the energy, and similar to you. And I thought I would go in and I wouldn't be able to contribute anything. And actually, on the first day, I don't think I was able to actually contribute anything technically. But the second day, it just amazes me how quickly you can learn something new and then just put it into practice immediately. That was really good, and you get this support as well. On the day, you just learn on the spot, and you do it, and it stays with you if you learn there and there, and you can just take it away.
Have you got any advice, Yemi, to those that are perhaps a little unsure? What's your advice to someone who's considering this?
What, the apprenticeship?
Yeah,
I would say definitely go for it. Go for it. You have to. I think data has to be something you have interest in. You don't necessarily have to have access to massive data. I think Manju's got access to maybe more data than I probably do, but even with what I have, it's amazing what you can do with little data. I think when you think about data automatically, or I do, you just think about big data. It has to be massive spreadsheets and loads of information. But actually, when you take a step back, anything, I think we can all get data from anything really.
Yeah, thanks. That's great to hear. Anything from you, Manju, on that?
I think quite similar in the sense what Yemi said. If you're thinking about it, I really would encourage people to do it. it's going to kind of expand your kind of knowledge really, and I think it can be quite applicable to any role and any organisation as well in terms of what you are doing. You know, we've obviously talked about NHS and healthcare, but like I said on the hack, we met people from all sorts of organisations, you know, construction and everywhere else, and it's really good to see how they've applied it in their jobs as well. So I think it's very you know, you can kind of adapt it in different situations. The level of support, I would say, as well, has been a big thing. For me, especially, like Yemi's already said, I started and I didn't really know very much. And the level of support from the tutors and everyone at Projecting Success has been really good. And I think that kind of encourages you as well, that you don't feel like you're falling behind or you're getting a bit stuck. You can ask them pretty much any question. End of the day, they're kind of teachers, really. It's the same if you're at school, and if you get stuck on something, you'd ask for help. So, yeah, I found that's been really good for me.
Yeah, no, that is good to know. Thanks, Manju. I think it's important to say as well that what the Manju's just described in terms of meeting new people from different industries is really important. I know there are, and we did this purposely with Projecting Success, that you are exposed to different ways of working, different ways of doing things. Because if it's all NHS, you know, those ideas are just kind of, you know, restricted to NHS, and actually there's a whole broader set of learning that we can do from other sectors, and some of those were, you saw in the video, so Robert McAlpine, there was the nuclear decommissioning authority there. I was talking to them about nuclear power, which was fascinating, and there's all sorts. So I think there is some broader learning and some new ways we can do things. And for me, I actually met a couple of colleagues that were interested in doing this for their organisations, and what's actually ended up is that they're developing a learning and development academy, and that's something we're potentially looking at. So I was like, oh, can I connect with you and find out more about that? And they've shared some amazing things with us. So there's always things like that. You never quite know where these kind of conversations go to. So we kind of come into a close. Anything anyone wants to ask whilst we've got these kind of last 2 minutes together, or 1 minute together? Any final thoughts, Yoshi, Warwick?
I think no, not really. I think I think just to make us have people who don't have an extensive background in data, I'm more than happy to have a conversation to kind of break down some of the barriers, understand kind of what your needs are, and see if it is useful for you to join the apprenticeship. More than happy. I'll drop my email in the chat here. But I am the NHS account owner, so kind of anything that gets routed through me it will definitely be in touch with our team. And I think I might definitely pass the message on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's important at this point is to what goes next. So if we are going to do another session for line managers. So Yoshi, Warwick, and I, and Joe, who was on the video you saw, head of profession at HE, is going to come in. So if you've got, if you want to invite your line managers to that session to find out more about strategic and operational delivery and what it means as a department or a team, then look out for that invite, because we'll include you in that. But in terms of next steps, if you're still not sure, email me. I've got loads of material. I'll link you to Yoshi and Warwick as well. We'll make this process as easy as possible. I think it's important to know that everyone's at a different starting point. Yemi and Manju were at different starting points. We're at different sort of stages when they first enrolled. But so in that, we're here to support you through it as best we can. So I'll be sharing everything you've seen today, and I'll send those out along with the recording. So if you want to share it with us, you can. So thanks very much, and take care, and have a lovely rest of your day.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks.